Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. So today we're gonna talk about the 2022 Atlanta Falcons and what we can expect from these guys this year. So guys, before we get into the video, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So the reason I'm having this video because somebody posted on one of my videos and they was already talking about 2023 draft. And the Falcons hadn't even started training camp for 2022 yet. And I get it. Everybody thinking that the Falcons going to suck this year. But the team has not even played one game yet. And we already looking towards 2023. But I get it. I understand. So I'm going to go over and recap how this offseason has been. And I'm going to try to shine some light on how we could look at some things positive for this team can actually be decent this year. And don't worry about 2023. Let's see what we do in 2022 first. So, if we just looking at what happened in 2021 offseason, 2022 offseasons. And so, first thing happened, Calvin Ridley got suspended. We already know about that. So, it was already starting off on a bad note. I think the Atlanta Falcons probably had a trade for Calvin Ridley. And so he wasn't going to be with the team anyway. We was probably going to trade. We probably going to get some more draft capital. But he got suspended. So we started the season off. No receiving core. Receiving core was already bad because we had lost Julio the year before. We had a lot of guys that were free agents. Only person that actually did something from the receiving core last year was Russell Gage. Right? The next thing, we lost Fourier. To the Jacksonville Jaguars. We couldn't pay him because of our salary cap. He got a good deal. Good for him. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's their new linebacker. The next, we lost Russell Gage to free agency. So we already talked about our receiving core. Our receiving core was bad. So we lost Russell Gage to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We didn't only lose, we lost to a divisional rival too. So that was a bad thing. And then the next thing was Matt Ryan got traded. Matt Ryan got traded. Of course, we know the whole Deshaun Watson fiasco. Tried to go out and get Deshaun Watson, future franchise quarterback, replace Matt Ryan. We know how that turned out. He spurned us. He went to the Cleveland Browns because they paid him $230 million fully guaranteed. And we was without a quarterback. Matt Ryan got in his feelings and he wanted to leave, which is understandable. But it forced the Falcons to go ahead and start their plan a little bit earlier, which probably was a good thing for them. So they traded Matt Ryan to the Indianapolis Colts for a third-round pick, which everybody was upset about that because we thought we could probably got more for Matt Ryan, third-round pick. All right, which means when we traded Matt Ryan, we actually had $62 million in dead cap. So, and that's the worst cap hit in NFL history. $62 million in dead cap. So, by all intents and purposes, it couldn't be any worse for the Falcons. Start the offseason, right? All those things happened. It couldn't have been any worse for us. I don't think anybody felt positive about what was going to happen with the Falcons. It was pretty much we just waiting for next year. So I can get it. I understand. All those things happen. There's no way this team can actually be able to do something this year with all those things happen. Lost our starting receivers. We lost our second receiver. Lost our linebacker who had the most tackles in the NFL. We lost our franchise quarterback. And we got the highest dead cap hit in NFL history. Right? Right, so those things happen. So I can see why everybody felt like we just gonna go make it through this season and see what happened last year. If you go back to some of my earlier videos, I actually felt that way. I was like, dang, man, it's going to be a bad season for us. I don't know how we're gonna make it. Me being a Falcon fan, it's just gonna be one of those years where just see can we last, just hold out, right? But let's go to some of the things that change since that time. Some positive things that we can take in and start feel better about this team, not just for the future, because I think it is for the future. But if you listen to what Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot was saying, we're building for the future, but we're going to try to be competitive now. So let's look at some of the things that they did after all those things happened, what I just mentioned. And so we re-signed Cordell Patterson. That was big. Cordell Patterson had his best season as a pro with the Atlanta Falcons, so I think it was big. Our only two offensive weapons we really had last year was Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson. So bringing him back was a big thing for the Falcons. So we know we're going to bring something back that he had his best season, and a player that was here on a 1-year deal that wanted to come back to a team after. It was either after we traded Matt Ryan, so that's a good thing. We signed Younghoe Koo, one of the best kickers in the NFL. So we signed him to a 5-year deal. So now we got our kicker, a long-term kicker for a while. We ain't got to worry about having a kicker. If he just keep doing what he be doing, we got our field goal kicker. We signed Jake Matthews, our left tackle, who's a staple of this team. Still good. He's not one of the best left tackles in NFL, but he's consistent. He's steady. Plays real well. I think Jake Matthews is a solid left tackle for the Atlanta Falcons, and he does not give up a whole lot of sacks. He holds his own on that left tackle side. All right. Then we also picked up Chris Lindstrom's 5th-year option. So now we do got two pieces. Of course, we know we had trouble with our offensive line, but between Jake Matthews and Chris Lindstrom, so he's probably going to be working on his contract sometime this season, maybe next season. But we got our right guard and our left tackle solidified, so that's good. We was able to keep Chris, make a deal with Chris Lindstrom, make sure he's going to be here for his 5th-year option. Then we signed Grady Jarrett as well. So now we signed a person on offense, defense, and our special team. So we got 3 cornerstone players that we put with this team. Grady Jarrett is a big part, great leader for the room, excellent player as well. And we just need to put pieces around Grady Jarrett, and I think that we can actually take off with him being here for the next 4 years. All right. So let's talk about some of the free agents we brought in. And this is why I think that the Falcons can be competitive this year. That's the whole idea. We brought in some free agents to 1-year deals. Some of these guys can be competitive. So we brought in Casey Hayward, who's a 10-year vet in this league as a cornerback. But you pair him with a AJ Terrell, I think that's going to be a solid cornerback pairing. AJ Terrell is on the rise. If you look at all these young cornerbacks getting good cornerback deals, so AJ Terrell continue to do what he's doing. He's definitely is going to be up on the uprise in his career. So him and Casey Hayward pairing together is going to be awesome. We also brought back Isaiah Oliver, who's, if you remember Isaiah Oliver, he was playing some of his best football before he got injured last year, and so he came back on a prove-it deal after his injury. I think he's going to slide him into that nickel position like he played last year, that Logan Ryan role that you've seen in DP's scheme. So I think that's going to bode well for us. We brought in Lorenzo Carter. Lorenzo Carter got hurt the year before, Achilles, but he came back his last 5 games. He had more sacks than any other Falcon had all season. So, of course, we need to boost up our pass rush. So, Bring Lorenzo Carter in. If he can start off where he left off in last season, I think that's going to bode well for our pass rush. And then we brought in Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota, somebody that had experience with Arthur Smith. Yes, he got benched when he was with the Tennessee Titans. But, of course, if you go back and look at some of the circumstances of that, you know why he got benched. Injury. His mindset wasn't in the right place. So, injuries to some of the teammates that was during that time. Just go back and look. You'll see. His first 2 seasons, he was pretty good. The number 2 overall pick in 2015 still has some football left in him. If you don't believe me, just go back and look. Every time he came in, he spelled some minutes for Derek Carr his last 2 years. In Las Vegas, he played well. He actually won a game against the Los Angeles Chargers during that time. So I think Marcus Mariota has a lot to prove. I think he's going to be hungry. If you look at he's more mature. I think Arthur Smith is in a different place. And the fact that Marcus Mariota does so much different stuff than Matt Ryan do, I think this offense is going to be different. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I think this offense is going to be different. And the last 2 things I want to talk about is our 2021 draft class, the guys we drafted last year, highlighted by Kyle Pitts and some of those other guys that, like Richie Grant, Jalen Mayfield, who's definitely gotta have a better year this year, or Drew Dahlman, Avery Williams, all those guys that we drafted. Frank Darby, can he actually have some more production this year, more than he had last year? So our 2021 draft class is definitely going to play a role in this year's team. We just need about 3 or 4 of those guys to actually play better. We know Kyle Pitts is going to do what he do. If Jalen Mayfield can improve, which is saying a lot, which is not saying a lot, because he can only go up. Can't get any worse than what he was last year. And then our 2022 draft class. I thought these guys knocked out the park this year, the 2022 draft class, starting with the number 8 overall pick, Drake London, get Arnold Ebiketie, Tyler Algier, Troy Anderson, still with Desmond Ritter in the 3rd round, D'Angelo Malone, and then ended off with John Fitzpatrick and Justin Schaefer. So all those guys, that 2022 draft pick, which most people gave them an A on their draft. So that's what this year and last year draft class, and that's this new regime. That's this new regime draft classes. So that's what we gotta look forward to. Now, not to add on guys like a Marlon Davis and a John Kaminsky, who I touched on yesterday. So guys, all I'm saying is that we have not seen this team, these collection of players, play 1 game yet. And we already talking about 2023. We don't know what to expect from this team. That's all I'm saying. We don't know what to expect from this team. We don't know if they're going to actually suck. I mean, the national media already got them 31st on power ranking. Got them winning 4 to 5 games. But they don't know either. Like I said, we have not seen this collection of players play 1 game yet. And I do believe that this offense is going to look different. Not better. I'm not saying it's better, because you got a 14-year vet like a Matt Ryan who know how to read defenses, who poise, who know how to got pocket presence, who know how to deliver the ball, who's been a model of consistency for 14 years with Atlanta, and then coming in with a player who's really he has been inconsistent in the Marcus Mariota, a rookie, and Desmond Ritter. So we don't know what to expect from the offense, but I believe because of their skill set, this offense is going to be different. I think we're going to be able to run the ball better. We only had 1,400 rushing yards last year. I think we're going to be able to run the ball better. I think with the the compilation of big receivers we got. They're going to play a big role into the run game. We're going to be able to do a lot of more play action passes. We're going to be able to throw the ball in the middle of the field better because we got bigger targets. Remember last year we had smaller receivers. Some guys couldn't even get off their initial contact with their DBs. So we couldn't. Matt Ryan had to hold on to the ball, but we're gonna have more quarterbacks. We're gonna be able to utilize the quarterbacks in the run game. We're gonna be able to utilize Damian Williams. We're gonna be able to utilize Cordero Patterson. We're gonna be able to utilize Tyler Algier in the running game. And you hope that Matt Hennessy, Jalen Mayfield, Caleb McGarry is gonna improve this year. If not, the competition that we got for these guys that they brought in the free agency, like a Jermaine Ifedi, a Justin Schaefer, a Kobe Gossick, guys like that, they're going to actually push these guys on the offensive line to be better. So these are the things that we got to look forward to. At least let these guys get to the 3 preseason games first before we decide to go ahead and start looking at a Bryce Young and a CJ Stroud in next year's draft. Like I said, these guys have not played one game together yet, and we're already looking at 2023. The future is now. If we can look at this team and feel like we can be competitive this year, remember, you're correct. We're going to have a lot of cap space next year. So we can actually go out and get some big name free agents because we will be able to pay these guys. But we got to be an attractive team. We got to show that we're building something here in this team. So we want them to go out. We want them to be competitive. We want them to try to win every game they can. We don't want them to be the top 5 pick next year. We want them to be in the middle of the pack. I'm not going to put in predictions on this team because honestly, guys, I don't know what this team is going to be. Just like you, I don't know. We have not seen this team play. We got a whole new quarterback. We got a whole new offense. We don't know what this team is going to look like. But we got to give these guys a chance. So that being said, guys, 2022, the future is now. It's not next year. It's right now. Let's get behind this team in 2022. At least the first 5 games. Let's see what they all about. And they might surprise us. And that's all I got, guys. So this your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. Peace.